Here we go. Welcome to the first episode of the Gravity Falls Pulse podcast. I've waited such a long time to be able to actually release an episode of this podcast. I've had, one or two episodes put on SoundCloud. It didn't go far, and it eventually died out. But I did want to have my first unscripted podcast come out here on YouTube, and for it to be about a subject that I really have some insight on. Today I'm going to be talking about how Gravity Falls has affected me and how it will affect television from now on. This is one of the most impactful things that has happened in my life is Gravity Falls coming on, but first I want to tell you how I came upon this show. So, when GF was first released, I was about the same age as the main stars, Dipper and Mabel. So, that's not necessarily what brought me into it, but it did keep me there, along with the mysteries. But I saw a commercial for it on the Disney Channel, and I thought it was going to be a horrible show. It looked really dumb to me, and I didn't watch it when it came out. Just eventually, I saw the last half of the episode, episode 5, The Inconveniencing, and it kind of scared me. It was like, what's going on here? I didn't know what the whole show was all about, and I saw the part where they look into the doors of the convenience store and see their skeleton. And I was like, what is this? This is a crazy show. I ended up seeing the first episode I saw in full was Dipper versus Manliness, which, in my opinion, isn't even one of the greatest episodes of Gravity Falls, but it still pulled me in, and I couldn't get away from it after I had seen that episode. I went on to watch the entire rest of the series that was up to that point, which was Summerween. I think Summerween was the first episode I saw as a new episode when it aired. So I was tied into the hiatus. That was right after I had gotten into it, and then 4 months, nothing. So that gave me plenty of time to have drawings. As I'm looking around this room and I see a chalkboard, and it's full of Gravity Falls drawings right now. I've got Waddles, Dipper, Mabel, something I call Cypher's Corner. It's Bill Cipher drawn into a corner. Old Man McGucket and Grunkle Stan. And there's a big Gravity Falls logo, the logo of the show, also there. I made my own Dipper hat, and I made a model Bill Cipher, and he's on top of my door right now. It is tragic to see this show go, but I know I'm going to say the show was as perfect as it could be. And there are going to be people who are going to say, no, Gravity Falls had its problems, there were issues. But the thing is, those issues were what made the show perfect. Those little errors, they were what showed the audience we're not perfect either. And even though they add little details, everything adds up. There are problems with this show, but that's what makes it so great. So, after a while, I found, I guess I wasn't too long, I found the Gravity Falls Gossiper, which, of course, as many of you probably know, was a podcast about Disney's Gravity Falls and, life and stuff. And that's what actually inspired me to start doing this podcast, which, of course, has come out over 2 years after I think the Gossiper ended. I think it's been about that long. But that also kept me in the mindset of Gravity Falls. I came up with my own theories, and Eventually, there were too many of them not to share them. I found the Royal Order of the Holy Mackerel, and I blew through all of the videos. I think there were 27 videos when I tuned in, and I blew through all of them in one night. Watched every single video, loved it, and joined the Royal Order. Got my official membership card. Got a letter from the Big Fish himself. Went on the website. I was doing all the decoding. Gravity Falls has probably consumed, in a combined total, at least a week of my life. Just hours straight, Gravity Falls, all the time, probably more than a week, at least a month of just drawing, decoding, watching videos on it, watching the theories, watching the show itself. It has changed me in such a way, it actually inspired me. I knew that I wanted to be a writer. When I saw Gravity Falls, I said, wow, I love the mysteries in this show. I want to make something like that can impact so many people, millions of people around the world, like Alex Hirsch has done. And I began with a short story that is a mystery. I feel like it's exciting. And that one short story has now turned into something that I'm going to turn into, well, it's been 3 short stories later. And I'm going to combine all of them, and I'm going to try and make it into a book. And I'm possibly wanting to take this into what happened with Gravity Falls. But that just shows you how much something can inspire someone. Before I saw Gravity Falls, I had no thought on making an animated TV show. But a few months later, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I want to do something like this. Gravity Falls is one of those great things that can't be replicated. No one can come in and say, I have a show. It's going to be just like Gravity Falls. It's going to be just as good. It's going to be better than Gravity Falls. That's not going to happen. Nothing that I can create, nothing that you can create, nothing that anyone can create is going to top this. And as we wait for in the coming months to sit down and not only watch but experience the final hour of this TV show that so many people have become invested into, we just have to remember that it is over. Gravity Falls is over. But it will always live on in the hearts of its fans and in the fandom itself. This channel isn't going to end. It's not going to change names. The Gravity Falls Pulse will still be here. And we'll still come out with videos, even Gravity Falls videos. Sure, the show will be over, but that doesn't mean the theories have to end. Even though the show's ending, people are going to be like, oh, now, what am I going to do with all my free time? I've always thought about, what does this mean? What is Grunkle Stan going to die? Is Blended Blanded coming back? What deal did he make with Bill? Just because the show's over doesn't mean all that has to stop. I'm sure it'll die down from where it is right now. But I think it can always live on. The internet is a big place. There's always going to be someone out there who's going to share the same interests as you in still wanting to know all the secrets of Gravity Falls. You may never find all of them out. They'll never be answered. Like, we'll probably never know what Dipper's real name is. But we can still theorize. And who knows? Maybe that theory's right. So never give up on your theories. There's always a possibility. But Gravity Falls has impacted TV in such a way that I don't think it's ever going to be the same. Just since after Gravity Falls has come out, there's been another show that a lot of the Gravity Falls fans enjoy called Steven Universe. It's, in my opinion, I only saw 15 minutes, just one half episode. It's not going to come close to matching what Gravity Falls has to offer, but it's something that the fans can get invested to again. I'm not going to say necessarily that I will. It's just not my kind of story. But Gravity Falls has probably prompted many fans of that show to come up with theories. Have a fandom. Do anything that this community has done in that community. And Gravity Falls is one of the first 30-minute cartoons since, I don't know, Scooby-Doo. And that is crazy that it could, even though cartoons never have plot lines, they never continue a story throughout the series, this one has. And this one has done it so well that there are millions and millions of people around the world who want to know what the end of this story is. It's not like Phineas and Ferb, where they just keep building things and just escape getting busted by Candace. There wasn't a real end to that story. It just kept going and going, but Alex Hirsch has said this is 100% his choosing, and that Disney gladly didn't force him to keep going with this just so they could make more money. This is 100% of the story that he had in mind for Gravity Falls. And that's also a huge impact on TV. If Disney's willing to say, this show that makes us millions of dollars every year, yeah, you can end it, because that would be the best thing for the show. That's going to be huge. Watching Weirdmageddon 2 Escape from Reality last night brought back a lot of the nostalgia that I didn't realize I had about this show. I busted out laughing in one or two parts in the episode, and I'm not a person who will just start laughing. I don't laugh in a lot of TV that I see. Really, Gravity Falls is one of the only things I actually laugh at out loud. The first part was Dipper hating Dippy Fresh, and that was perfect, a perfect gag. But the second part was seeing the waffle guards in front of Mabel's tower. That immediately brought me back to episode 3. Episode 3, Headhunters. This is episode 39. It was a waffle with big arms. That was one of my favorite jokes up to this point in the show. And they bring it back better than ever. They use the yes, definitely, absolutely, do you like me note twice in this episode in Mabelland. It's great if you can have a show that can do that. And I just want to hear from you guys. How has Gravity Falls impacted your life? And how do you think it has impacted TV from now on? Thank you so much for listening to the first episode of the Gravity Falls Pulse podcast. If you would like more, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for much more to come. I'll see you next time.